This is a awesome, I guess, opportunity for me. Cork and Taylor is here live. It's not going to be live when you hear it because it's going to be taped. But it's live right now. I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Bob Hope. Oh, no, sorry, Austin Hope. I got you wrong. I just want to make sure you're paying attention. Awesome.
Hi.
Austin Hope, thank you, and graciously letting me in your fantastic winery here in Paso.
Thank you very much, Luke. I appreciate it. We're definitely fortunate, and you're being too kind with your words on me, but thank you.
Okay. I mean, I can be meaner if you want. I'm going to be banned from Paso. You know, I'm sorry I was late, and I told you that off air. It's amazing. So this is the first time ever in Paso. I've been at Santa Barbara. I was in Santa Barbara yesterday. What I love about Paso, and I even told my wife this, you guys seem to actually like each other.
Yeah.
And you're very, and I'm not knocking other places north of here, but it seems that everybody's a strong proponent of Paso, and it's kind of like the old Robert Mondavi days of, you know, if I do well, everybody does well.
Yep.
I mean, is that pretty much
100%? I'm probably one of your biggest advocates you'll meet in this arena. Exactly that. You know, the old saying, rising tides takes all boats up, and it's one of the biggest things that we teach all of the people that work for us in our company, and that we meet, that we help, and anything we can do to make Paso better is what we want. So we speak Paso first, and then we speak about us, and that's just the way our culture is, as far as our company is. And I think there's still, to a certain extent, there's a lot of people out there. You know, we're one of the few places that still has, wine alliances that my parents were actually founding members of, and I think it was in 82 or 83, I can't remember. So the Paso Robles Vintners and Growers Association. So we still actually have wineries and vineyards together, which is a rarity in today, because they usually fight. You know, one wants more money, one doesn't think you're paying them enough, et cetera, et cetera. And we're still a very viable company. We've got to raise between dues and so on and so forth. We've got spending $1 million+ a year in just promoting Paso, and that's
awesome.
the key. It's the key.
So who do you hate in Paso? I'm just kidding. So 1978, your parents bought, this property.
They actually didn't buy this property. We started actually on the eastern side of Paso,
okay. The
northeastern side. We were up towards the San Miguel district, which I guess it would be probably be the Estrella district, if you know about the 11 different sub-AVAs, out past the airport. And bought a piece of ground out there, and then planted apples and grapes, and quickly learned that apples weren't the right thing. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and then we sold the property, which was crazy. Somebody had to have it, and I sold it, and we bought 2 more pieces of ground, and then started planting more wine grapes, and slowly over time evolved and figured out that the red was really the priority here, and going to be the future of it. And yeah, it's been we've been here a long time.
Yeah,
pretty wild.
Any apple trees anywhere?
There is a handful of apple trees, but it's not for eating. I think it's not a commercially viable area. There's a handful of you pick type things, and those will do fine, but not commercially. You can't compete with the Northwest on them. And the apples that you see going in now, which is funny enough, I mean, you can make a living in apples now, but it's going to be in cider. So it's a different thing,
right?
So it's you could grow them here and be profitable, but you got to be in the cider business.
So there's Macintosh, there's Guy. When is the Austin Hope apple varietal coming out?
If I could figure out how to make it taste like good Cabernet, that'd be pretty cool, and everybody'd be eating apples.
Yeah, or like they have in Key West or Hawaiian wines. They've got like fruit wines.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, you should dabble into that, or not, because it sounds like you're doing pretty well with it. So. Kind of an interesting story, and you're kind of connected, your family and yourself more so, with the Wagners of Napa, which is, if you don't know who the Wagners are in the wine industry, then you probably haven't lived the last 30 or 40 years, correct?
I would agree. Yep. No, he's an icon. I mean, Chuck Wagner for sure is an icon in the industry, and his main brand Camus is
Never heard of it.
Pretty damn close to being a household name.
Yeah.
in a global scenario.
Yeah. And you're getting up there. I mean, we see your wines. I live in Ohio, and great placements.
Thank you. Yeah, we've spent a lifetime. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
trying to get there.
What has changed since kind of the beginning to now? What have you noticed the most? Just because you've grown up in it. Mm-hmm. What have you just kind of noticed? I mean, obviously it's tough.
Oh, it's a tough business for sure. I joke about it because we got the business the old-fashioned way. We didn't have any money. We had my grandmother, my mom's mom, signed a bank loan for us, and that's how we got started. So, I think what I've seen, and that's just is really kind of a global, actually, comment if you think about it. More importantly here, because we're newer if you look at it on a global scale, but there's more money. So money, and when I say that, money from outsiders. Second careers, third careers, investments, not so you're seeing that, and it's happening in Paso now, right? There's Constellation just bought Booker, so I mean that's a big deal. That's a publicly traded company coming in here and putting that kind of money into a situation like this. That's a very different scenario than we're used to. Majority of us were started here were farmers, right? So I'm a third generation California farmer, and we've got 2 daughters. Hopefully they'll be a fourth generation California farmer. So most of the people that are here were farmers first, and that's how we got started, and then we went into the wine industry. But so I think that's the biggest thing. You're seeing people that coming in on a second leg, right? And Napa was famous for it. I mean,
yeah. How do you make $1 million in the wine business in Napa? You start with 5 or 10 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you kind of foresee that happening with the boom and the exposure of Paso wines that you there's only so much land in Napa left,
right?
Did you kind of see it coming years ago that they were going to see them start creeping down?
For sure, and it because we've always we make not personally, but we grow more more wine grapes than we do that we make here, right? That are from Paso Robles wineries actually making them here. And I'd like to see that change more and more, but we've always kind of, and jokingly, I mean, way back in the day, we were, the bastard childs of the North Coast. They'd come down, buy grapes, bring them up there, blend them into a California brand or one of their brand, because you can legally blend in amounts.
Kind of like what Liberty School was, no offense. I mean, that's what Wagner's second label was, right?
In the beginning it wasn't, but then when we met and it got brought back out, because the brand really was kind of not really doing a lot at the time. And then he had came down and met my uncle and my dad and said, okay, we want to resurrect this label, and we want to get fruit from Paso because that's possible. So that's exactly the point, right? So but that was a brand that was actually branded Paso when it got here, because we used to be California, then it was a Chilean project, and then it kind of wasn't really focused on, because Chuck was really focused on Caymus Cabernet and Special Selection at the time, and that because it was really, he doesn't like when I say it, but he truly was one of the first cult wines of the North Coast.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So he doesn't like it because he's a farmer like me. He's a very humble guy, and it's like it's not the case, but yes, that's how it happened. And now you're seeing brands. Just saw the other day, Coppola just released a labeled Paso Robles Cabernet, which is cool. So it's good to see. It feels good. I've been seeing the writing on the wall for a long time. We've had an incredible success of getting more notice with the newest Austin Hope Cabernet brand, and it's just it's definitely taking a different global approach for us, and more notoriety, more people coming, more people finding out about it.
Did you ever wish they just went straight to Temecula?
No, we love hosting, man. You see the place we're at. We're
no, I'm seeing the Napa people that they went and bought in Temecula instead of Paso. Not the people. No, we want them up here.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny though. There would have been a different scenario, huh?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. How does it change kind of your outlook or what you're doing on a day-to-day basis with Austin Hope Wines?
As far as in what respect?
Just with I guess more competition coming in that are not from Paso.
It doesn't bother me at all, actually.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it does is it creates a little competition with like all of our family growers that we have, right? So we've done a really good job understanding the land here and understanding where grapes can get the highest phenolics, highest tannins, highest color, highest flavor compounds, So we know those areas, and so if anybody is smart enough in this game, they just watch what we're doing and see where our places are. And it's happened. We've seen vineyards pop up around the areas that weren't vineyards before with big companies here. Some are corporations. And then you got to worry about, the long-term relationships and make sure you got them solid relationships with the families. And we've been here when you couldn't give your grapes away, and now we're here when people actually know how to what Paso Robles is. So, don't forget that. Have a long-term approach, and so I think that's the only thing we. I guess it's not really a worry because we're pretty ahead of it. I've got a great farming team, and we help develop vineyards, we lease vineyards, we've got a lot of things going on as far as that front of it goes. So, I'm so bullish on the region that it's like, to me, our mantra is global domination amongst our whole team and family,
Right.
and it's global domination of Paso Robles Cabernet, and it's like we want to be known worldwide. I mean, and it's happening too. It's what's cool. It's starting to really catch. I mean, we've been all over the place, and to see your wine in other countries, and Thailand is picking us up, and then we've got we're already in China and Japan and Germany. We just went into Iceland. We're in a lot of countries right now, and what's I think most gratifying is we're getting solicited by people from these countries asking about us, and it's like that's pretty cool because if you said you have a small distributorship, you know better than anybody is that you don't go looking for brands that you don't know are going to be successful, right? And everybody needs a distributor.
I keep getting Moldavian wines for some reason. I guess they're the hot wine. Do you get requests to send money to like a Nigerian bank account?
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah,
but
I always
are the
love
best.
those.
Yeah. I used to get that, and it's actually been quiet lately. It's funny you bring that up.
It's going to happen all next week.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Siri's going to tell everybody to go do it.
Oh my God, that's funny. So, is Austin Hope your real name, or is that your kind of stage name?
That's funny. People ask that a lot
Because it's a great.
It's so funny because
Do you know what I mean?
say
Like, it's a great name.
I see. It's hard for me to look at it in perspective, but like Chuck was one of the first people that told me that years ago. He's the one that kind of pushed me into branding Austin Hope in 2000. So the 2000 was the first vintage we did of Austin Hope, and it was a Syrah from this place. And then in the 2015 vintage is when we took it into the Cabernet. But I don't think about it that way. But everybody will say that. People will be like, Is that really your name? Like, that's not just a made up name because it sounds cool. And I'm like, yeah, no, my name is actually Charles Austin Hope. One name from each of my grandfather. My mom's dad was named W.A. Thompson, which is William Austin,
Nice.
and he was from Texas. And then my dad's dad was named Charles Lewis Hope, and so they took one of each. But I was always called Austin, so yeah. But it is funny though, huh?
I mean, when you think about that, you look at a lot of people have their last name, like Dow.
Mm-hmm.
It's two brothers, obviously.
Right.
Beckman and Santa Barbara. I'm just rolling off names who I've interviewed the last couple of, Laird. No one has two names.
Yeah.
Austin Hope.
Austin
Good
Hope.
name, man.
Thanks, brother.
I'm going to name my fourth child Austin Hope. If I have a fourth child, it ain't mine.
Yeah.
The second question I have for you, that's been really troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that named after? Because always a name's named after something or experience. Were you a troublemaker as a child?
Yeah, I was a bit of a problem. I was they label children like I was when I was a child, ADHD.
No, highly spirited.
Yeah. Back then, I was just a pain in the ass, and I couldn't stay focused, and I was impulsive and do whatever I thought was funny, and
We're not going to give him Ritalin. We're just going to
just gonna let him go.
Sports, yeah.
He's already looks like he's on speed. What's going on? Why would you give him more speed? So it's that was my nickname growing up because I was always in trouble in school, and not nothing malicious, just
right.
I'd pull chairs out when somebody's going to sit down, or
I got two boys, 7 and 5.
Yeah,
I know
you
how
get
it works.
right?
Yeah.
And so my dad at one point just got tired of whipping my ass every day. I got my name on the board, and he says, I can't do this anymore. He says, you get your name on the board again, we're just going to go ahead and just put you into work, and you just start your career now, and that way you can retire early. And I'm like, okay, Dad, okay. And so a couple days go by, he's like, how'd you do today? Oh, I got my name on the board. He's like, okay. You start work at 7. You go 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, and then 7 to noon on Saturdays. So we're gonna pay you like $3 an hour or whatever it was. And I'm like, okay. And you get out there with that crew and hoe weeds. And I'm like, all right. So I started hoeing weeds, and I'm like, this is great. I'm outdoors. I'm not have to do school.
You're making $3 an hour.
I thought I was killing it. I wanted a YZ80 dirt bike real bad, and my dad wouldn't buy it. He's like, I'm not buying you a dirt bike. That's stupid. So I started doing the math after a couple of days being out there, and I'm like, heck, man, by the time I get to summer, I'm gonna have. I needed $999. How much that thing was? I knew exactly how much it was, and I was like, I'll have that. By the time summer comes, I'm gonna be able to buy it. And I'd talk to my friends at night, and of course, like on a landline, I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? I'm like, it's awesome, dude. He's like, and I'm like, you guys are suckers, man. You should get out here to get a job. This is way better than going to school.
So wait, you weren't going to school, you were working the fields?
Yeah, 7 to 3:30 every day, and it went on for a week. And then my dad would ask me every day if I was ready to go back to school. So
kind of like, hell no.
Totally backfired on him, right? He was like, shit, what do I do now? He was trying to figure out how to figure it out. So he finally, after the week goes by, he's like, I don't know, I can't. This is not working. Like that idiot's gonna stay out there. Like,
did you buy the bike?
I finally bought the bike, but it took me longer because my uncle, my dad's brother, which came up to me, and so my dad didn't have to concede, and he grabbed me by my ear and he says, "Listen, you little shithead, you go back to school right now, you idiot." And I'm like, okay. And so I went back to school, but I was out there for a week. But the funny part is, I was only in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So, and when I, if you did that, I am a father. If I did that to one of my children today, they'd take him away, social service would get involved. It'd be a whole different world.
Era.
Totally different era, because the teachers there were applauding my father, like, great job, great way to show him. I'm like, so I did get the dirt bike, but it took me longer.
That's awesome.
Because I couldn't work, because I had to go back to school. But, I guess what are you, 8 years old, 4th grade? I don't know, something like that.
No, older than that.
Are you?
No, let's see, my daughter's 11 and she's in 6. So yeah, 9 years old. 8, 9, 8, 9, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Good for you. It's obviously, I wonder if has your dad ever brought that up in the last 10, 15 years, 20 years, saying, you know what, maybe I saw something in him that I didn't, when he figured out what you were trying to do? That's entrepreneurial, man.
Well, that was the thing. It was funny because a couple times, because back then in that era, things weren't great. I mean, it was tough.
No.
Like, we had to sell our grapes, and it was like some years we couldn't sell them. So my dad was extremely stressed, and he was out there every single day till dark. He had ulcers, like eating Tums like it were candy, and so he was very stressed. So I think he missed a lot of things, but I was always like that. I mean, I had a mistletoe business at 10, where I shot mistletoe out of the oak trees, and then I'd put a little red ribbon around it and ask my mom to drop me off downtown in front of the salon, and I would wander around to all the beauty shops.
Seriously?
And sell them, during Christmas.
Oh, my God.
And then I started a cut and wrap business for sheep. I started raising some sheep, put a fence down there. My dad and he'd come home and be like, where do you get those sheep? Who helped him fence that in? And my mom was like, he's always busy. He's always doing something. You ever seen him? So when it came, funny, fast forward. So my dad told me from day one, I will split a vehicle with you, whatever you want. I'm like, cool. So at 15, I didn't have my license yet. I'm like, all right, I want to buy a truck, because he can't even drive. I said, I know, but my friend has his license. I was like a little over 15 and a half. Yeah. And I had like 6 months to go. And I said, so my buddy can drive. He's got his license, and he doesn't have a car. Mm-hmm. So he can drive me around. And he's like, okay. So we go down to the Chevrolet dealership, and I'm like, there's a maroon Silverado pickup, regular bed right there. And I'm like, I want that one right there. He's like, oh, that's what you want? Really? Brand new. I'm like, yep, that's it right there. That's what I want. You said you'd split half. He's like, okay. He's like, that's $12,000. Does he have $6,000? I said, yep. I started pulling it out of my pocket, and he's like, get in the car. And we had to go home, because he's like, I don't know where you got $6,000. And that was the funny part, because I'd been working. I've got all these businesses. I've been hustling since I was a child. And my mom goes home and says, Marlene, where did Austin get this money? She says, Chuck, he's always doing something. Don't you ever notice you never see him around here?
I gotta, if you start another brand or a name, I got a name for you.
That is it.
The Hustler.
The Hustler. I like that. Yeah.
Austin Hope, The Hustler.
The Hustler. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm the type of person, I tell my kids, or I tell everybody, not my kids, because you can't tell that to your kids, right? You got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Do what I say, don't do what I do.
Yeah.
So if I started the label, it'd be awful. But you, I think, could handle it.
Yeah. I tell the girls, I'm pretty straight up with them. I always tell them to get out and hustle. You better hustle.
Yeah.
Get out there and hustle. Just not on the street.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I've got a daughter. I know what that means.
Yeah.
But
stay off the poles, but get out and hustle.
Yeah. But what's funny is I told my kids, they'd say, I'd say no to them when they're real young. I said, listen, you're going to hear more no's in life than you are yeses. So the more you get comfortable hearing no and it annoys you, then you can figure it out.
Then you process it.
And when I say no to them, they know. Now, if they really want something, they'll work other ways, and they are smart.
See, they're hustling. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Little do they know they're being kicked out at 11 and a half, all three of them. I need to have some fun, right? All right, back with Austin Hope. We got two wines. We got the Trina Cab, or the Trina, what is it?
Triana.
Triana, sorry. Sorry, Triana. I'm Canadian.
Yes, okay.
And obviously, the man, the myth, and the legend, the name, Austin Hope. Which one should I try first?
I think let's go with, let's try the Triana, 2018. Cool. It's a fun bottle of wine.
They didn't take care of you.
No, they didn't.
Sorry.
I don't know what's up with that. I've had it. It's good wine.
Yeah.
I think the Triana is, it's actually a pretty historical label for here because we started that in 1996 was the first vintage, and putting together a Cabernet and Syrah was really not done in California. They weren't doing that, and
they still make Syrah in California.
Yeah, right. I just wish people understood it. It's such an amazing varietal.
It is probably my bar from Cab. It's probably my second. It's probably up there. I love Syrah.
Yeah, it's
Syrah
wonderful.
is just and it's a great food wine. It's a great patio wine. It's a great wine.
Yeah, and there's so many different expressions is what's cool. I've always said in the past about wine like that particular varietal. I think that I literally believe that you could just take some Syrah cuttings, take me in an airplane, and drop me anywhere you want in the world, and within a few years, I'm going to be able to make a really cool stylistic expression of Syrah. I think in my opinion, it's the most versatile variety there is because. And the main reason I say that is because it doesn't have a particular soil that is the best. So I can grow it in clay, I can grow it in sand, I can grow it in rock, I can grow it I can grow it cold climate, I can grow it hot.
Can you grow it in Missouri?
I think I could get figured out. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. I mean, once you get around the humidity issues, but that's the thing. I mean, the mildew, you just be more cognizant of it, pay attention to it, and plant them differently. Plant them lower to the ground, and I mean, there's tons of different ways you could get around things like that. But I do believe that's one of the most versatile varieties there is. I mean, you see it here in California, right? I mean, you can grow it up in the Sierra foothills, in Amador and all of that area. Mm-hmm. You can grow it in Napa Valley. You can grow it in Sonoma.
Yep. Lake County,
Russian River, cold. You
Mendocino. Yeah, you can grow it anywhere.
And and I think with the more focus and better winemaking, I think you could grow it good in Temecula as well. I think I think Temecula, there's some spots there that I think you could do things. I think that they're just too focused on the wedding hospitality rather than they've never been forced like I think this region, because they've had the luxury of having millions of people 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away. Whereas here, we have not had that. We've had to hustle the whole damn time to get people to come find us.
You got to drive.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
And you got to make it a destination, right? In Temecula, Absolutely. You come down from San Diego or La Jolla or whatever. It's a nice little, weekend, and it's all about that. I mean, you got to have good wine.
Yeah,
out here. No offense to Temecula, but
no, I'm not making fun of Temecula at all.
No,
I think it's a wonderful place. I just don't think that, there's an audience there.
We don't have one listener from Temecula, so we're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
we only have 2 total, so hopefully with your presence we'll get up to 3. But how'd you come up with this name?
The Triana.
Yeah.
So
we know Austin Hope.
Yeah, I was like, man, did this guy just lose his mind all of a sudden?
I did, just not now.
So Triana, that's another thing I'll give advice on. If you're going to start a winery, try and figure out a name now because it's the hardest damn thing to come up with. It's harder than picking up.
The Beckett said that too.
It's harder to pick a name than anything. It's so hard.
They were telling me about Chronic Cellars. And how they're trying to pick names and stuff, and like everything's taken.
Oh, everything's taken, and it's what sounds good, what doesn't sound good. I mean, I've got a bunch of trademarks. I mean, because once I figured it out a long time ago, I just kept anything I'd see, I'd trademark and then put it to use somehow so I could keep the trademarks.
Crazy.
But yeah, we've got a lot of brands that people don't even know are ours, just so we can keep the things alive. But the Triana was found in a book. It's a Spanish town. There's a town in Spain. And it means a trio of natural elements is what it would translate to mean. Okay. And so we use the sea, sun, and soil because those are three most important parts of Paso Robles is the sea, sun, and soil. Because of our proximity to the ocean is the sea, and the soil is because we have such unique and diverse soils here. And it allows us to grow such great red varietals. And then obviously the sun because we have amazing weather here, right? We have perfect weather. We've got the big diurnal swings, cold, hot, and it's just we've been blessed so far to where we've we're not like Bordeaux where they've got to worry about rain, before harvest. I mean that's that's their biggest problem. I mean Bordeaux.
You don't have water down here.
Water?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You don't have a ton of water. Well, you can't. There's always seems there's like a water shortage.
California's always got a water shortage. It's just nobody sees it.
I made sure I had a 4-hour shower this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some water wars going on.
Yeah.
And it's just, but no, I think that, population has grown and we've been on a drought here when it seems like we go on these cycles down here and it's like, like we thought we were doing fine and then we got into a drought again and then we get, whatever we got 6-7 inches of rain there a few weeks ago, all at once.
Honey, get the buckets.
Totally, and I think there's a lot to that. Actually, we've spent so much time and money on this ranch that it's really a proving ranch, if you will. We're doing this, so this will be first year we're going to try and do regenerative soils here, so we can get away from using more water. And we've already done with all these different probes and things we've been able to do through science. We've cut our water use in half on the vineyards on this ranch in 3 years.
Wow.
So we think we can. Wow. We believe that within another 2 years we'll be able to completely dry farm it on this particular site. Not everywhere you can.
So there's no bathrooms. There's no water in the bathrooms.
No. Well, you bring your own if you want to wash your hands. Yeah, and you go to the bathroom in a bucket.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's called overhead, right?
That's
Cutting
right.
costs.
Yes,
cutting costs. This is delicious.
Thank you.
Absolutely delicious. All right, let's try the namesake.
Namesake.
Soon to be named The Hustle.
The Hustle, a.k.a. The Hustle. Yeah, so this brand was exciting because it was so this was a brand that was not really talked about internally. It was kind of being developed for about 7 years mentally. And not brought in. Nobody was brought into it until like the last 2 years before we started really getting going. Trying to really understand tannins and tannin development and where the right spots were to grow. What I consider to be world class Cabernet.
100%.
Nothing's 100% in life, man. I don't even know what's in it.
What are you talking about? Pinot Noir is 100% everywhere.
Yeah, especially the dark stuff.
What's that supposed to be?
No, I think it's real high. I think it's almost 100%. I can't quite remember. We always put a little bit in there. Just
1% of Viognier.
That's damn near every wine we make probably got 1% of Viognier except that wine. That wine probably the only
Why do you
one.
do that for all the wines?
You know what? It's the easiest expression for me, and like all of my Rhone wines with my name on it from here, the Austin Hope Rhone wines, are they're every one of them's got at least 2 to 3% Roussanne. So white wine, for whatever reason, and certain varieties, Viognier is one of them, and Roussanne's another one. If you just put a little bit in, it's almost like like when you taste something and it's just a little, it's good, but it's not right, it's not popping.
Right.
And you put either like some salt or you put some lemon or both, and it just all of a sudden that dish comes alive. And there's something about, we've put just tiny percentages of either one of those varieties, and there's other varieties too that work, but white wines, But it just like opens up the nose, like for the Austin Hope Rhones, for what the Roussan does with those wines is it just opens this aromatic. It's just something that's like, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I can't.
You know what? It's like being Canadian, born and raised. It's like ketchup.
There you go.
You put anything with ketchup, drives my wife nuts. I have ketchup with everything. And it just, no, I get it. I mean, that's a good, probably a horrible, comparison, but
yeah,
that's nice though. That's really nice.
So it was, 7 years. It was thought about it in my brain, and then finally we got we were getting new vineyard developments, new areas, new things, and I really wanted to make sure we could do it what I wanted to do over and over. And part of the process that was in my head was that I love Cabernets, but I also don't enjoy sometimes how tannic they are, especially the luxury ones in particular. The luxury ones always are so hard. So much tannic. They're so dry, and it'll be like you got to wait all these years, or you got to eat it with a stick of butter or a big steak.
And the biggest steak you've ever had. Yep.
Right.
Yep, I get it.
But why can't I just drink a glass of Cabernet like we're sitting here talking, and not have my mouth be so dry that it's just like I don't want to deal with that. I don't want that. So
it's good once in a while.
It is.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Because you can appreciate for what it was. But this is a wine to me, and not to cut you off, but this is a wine to me that I can drink now, and I can let it sit in my cellar for some time.
Absolutely you can. Yeah. No, I know that because what we've done is we've been able to learn how to manipulate tannins, and not only in vineyard and in winemaking. And by doing this, we can make these tannins softer, supple, more weight characteristics rather than a drying effect. Because analytically, the tannins are extremely high, really high. Like when you go through analytics of all the different tannins that are in this, they're high. So I know the wine's going to last a long time, but they're not hard. There's and so that was the bet, right? That was the game. Like we think that people want this, and
I think the sales.
They did.
I think the sales have justified that.
Yeah. I think
you're not at gas station level in Ohio yet, which is a good thing. Because once you get to Ohio gas station level, you've made it. You are big freaking time.
I tell you what, when COVID hit, I rallied all my troops and I said, because we were 63% on premise nationally.
Yeah.
I told we had 16 salespeople all across the country. I told them, I said, I don't give a shit if you sell this in 7-Eleven, dude.
Yeah.
We need retail. We need it stat.
Yeah. Okay, what you got to do? I don't care if the boxes are empty.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
We were case stacking it at the Quicken Marts.
How is, I guess, you're the first person I'm going to ask this question to, because I'm kind of just sick of it. But this is a kind of a business question. How has COVID affected, I don't want to know about your sales, which we talked off air. What I want to know about, how has it changed your kind of philosophy, your kind of business mindset going forward?
It's a big question, really, to be honest with you. But I
we only have 30 seconds.
Okay,
so
I think the biggest thing that's changed is, to be honest with you, on a very macro or look, I think the whole business has changed. The whole business has completely changed, and I don't see it coming back to the way it used to be. And what I'm saying is distribution was a very archaic business, and we would get on a plane, we would fly the distributor. We would go into a board meeting.
Never heard of this before.
We'd have a board meeting conversation.
Yep.
Then we'd go out and get drunk at a baseball game and pay for everybody, and then have a big $5,000 steak dinner somewhere.
When do you want to come visit me? I know I don't distribute, but just come for fun. We can practice.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true, right?
And then take that in consideration. Then we used to and this is nothing negative about it. It's
No.
This is just the way the business has been done. It's been so archaic. It's sales 101, right?
Yep.
I mean, no matter if you're selling widgets or wine, this is how it has been done for 100 years.
Yep.
And and then there was incentives in place for the sales team, for my people, for the distributors, and then whoever's buying the wine.
Yep.
So you've got basically 3-tier. I used to joke about it because 3-tier, it means me to the distributor to
It's more like 5-tier.
It's absolutely. There's 3 tiers just to get to a restaurant or a retail establishment of paying to get there.
What's my sample budget?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's tough. I mean, and I think a lot of pre-pandemic, I think a lot of people were kind of smarting up to the whole thing. Like when we have people come in for my distributorship, we're not going to a baseball game. We're doing wine dinners. We're out in the market. You're not sitting at a board meeting. We're not, because it's a cost of doing business. I remember one winery up in Sonoma told me, he says, I'm not coming to the market anymore. you're one of the only markets, he said to me, that I actually sell wine when I come in, and when I leave, I still sell it.
Right.
Because what happens is you go in, it's rah, 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 you spend $5,000, and it's like, well, my sales haven't gone up.
No, and it's not the way to do business, and we know that. I mean, but I think that's probably one of the biggest things I've seen is just the way to go into business, and and distributors. I mean, I love them. I'm not bad mouthing whatsoever. I mean, we're deeply
I hate 'em.
deeply rooted with
I
them.
think they're awful. I hate myself.
Yeah, well,
That's cool.
it's okay.
Yeah,
I don't like myself a lot of times too.
Yeah.
But I do think I do think that that's one piece of it that's different. And people were traveling the world. We were going all over the place, right? And now it's things have slowed up. So I think it's a big adjustment. I do worry about I worry about our sales team. I've had to keep them pumped up forever because our sales, we've done so well because through this pandemic, because we were able to be nimble and get into retail. I mean, they, as salespeople, look and see like, why do they even need me? I'm just sitting at the house sending emails to people.
And you're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it crossed my mind, but I mean, come on, I'm a family operation here.
Honey, we're going to get rid of everybody.
Yeah,
even you.
Yeah, everybody's out.
Yeah,
we need no one. But I think that so distribution going to the market is going to have to change. It is change, and I mean, and I don't know how. I mean, obviously you probably follow a lot of stuff, but the way that the distributorships have consolidated, and then you've got then you've got the online piece, right? So that
huge.
Is insane. I mean,
huge.
When you see RNDC and all these people that. You get the LibDib, and you get this and that, and it's like all these little platforms, which started way before this, and I've been watching them, and we've been signed up on them, the Drizzlies and all these things, and watching them, and I'm like, maybe, I mean, Uber's there, and then all of a sudden, boom, this pandemic hits, and that's the best thing that happened to those companies, and now it forced distributors to pay attention to that, digital, if you will, online, direct model. So, I mean, I think distribution, will change over time. And I think, I mean, I don't like to say it, but I'm concerned that you'll see distributors downsize because they don't need as many street people, right? Because, I mean, I don't know, the game. I mean, and like when we go out, like all my team, when we go out, we don't dick around. We don't do those things. That was our 20 years ago. We played those games, everyone's buying everything and going places all the time. It's like we go in and we're like, from whatever level you are in my company, if we go to with one of my salespeople, we want to hit, we have like a minimum of how many accounts we want to hit a day.
Really?
Yep.
2?
We know. Yeah, no, we're not. That's before lunch. Yeah. So it's different. It's a different world out there.